Welcome, Meena, to Mind My Mind talk show. It's a pleasure to have you on board here and especially talk about the great work that you are doing with so much passion. We've heard a lot about that, and we would want our viewers to also know about what all you do. So, dear viewers, let's welcome Ms. Meena Iyer. She is the CEO and founder of Life Skills Wellness, which focuses on counselings of different types, especially addiction counseling and various workshops. Because Ms. Meena is not just a counseling psychologist, but she's also a pretty well-known motivational speaker, as well as does many workshops like the inner child workshop, which we would like to talk about. So Ms. Meena, this workshop has been specially designed by you based on the principles of psychology. A lot of people do these workshops. In fact, I personally have also been through one of these, but those have been with the connotation of energy work and healing. And what you do is a very scientific program based on a lot of research. We would like you to share details about this and tell us about, what is it all about?
Thank you, Gurit. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here today. And yes, the Inner Child program is my passion. And if I could, I'd say, everybody should do this program, really, to understand ourselves better, how we turned out the way we turned out. So essentially, you see, there's all of whatever's in the workshop is available, right? I haven't written it. It's all there, but the way it comes together is like this. Um, let's say there's some things come from the way we understand transactional analysis, which talks about three ego states: the adult, the child, and the parent state in each one of us, how we transact or operate from these three states. We look at what very long back, Carl Jung talked about the wonder child. uh, we talked about the divine child. I look at this whole principle of psychosocial development through the developmental stages, which many psychologists have done. And and when you bring it all together, so for example, as a participant, they know that is the foundation which built this workshop, that all of this exists, right?
Mhm.
And then they examine how their childhood has gone. Essentially, in 3 days, Gurit, I look at from 0 to 26 what that person's, their life roadmap has looked like. Uh, Infancy, toddlerhood, preschool, school years, and adolescence. We go up till there, till 26, saying what were the situations I was exposed to, which of my developmental needs was met, what was not met, and was there any abuse? Because frankly, I don't think there is a very clear understanding of even what constitutes abuse.
Absolutely.
So,
Because
for example, I had a
uses
client recently tell me that my mother constantly told me about, not a workshop client, I'm saying a client who's working with me one on one. Saying my mother told me about, the other woman in my father's life. And that's actually emotional abuse, to talk to a child about what is not age appropriate for her to listen to, right? You were saying, um
very beautifully put, Meena, and I really appreciate, very brave of you to put up to say something like that. I think a lot of us go through that kind of an abuse, but we don't even consider that as an abuse.
yes.
So emotions तो abuse के दायरे में ही नहीं समझ में आते, right? And that makes a lot of difference. I think that's a beautiful understanding, that an awareness that needs to be brought about to everyone. Yeah,
Yes.
so
So
as
when you say abuse, people are thinking about violence, which also a lot of people go through. But what gets missed is what constitutes emotional abuse and what constitutes abuse to the person's identity. You know,
yeah, right.
for instance, let's say people in our generation, where households where there are 5 and 6 children. Okay, so how much attention, let's say, does the fifth child get? Or has there ever been a comparison between a girl child and a boy child? Has there been comparison between a pair of twins? Now, these are things that they don't tell you about, like you don't know about, and you're supposed to say, and culturally, we live in a society where, especially in India, we worship parents, right? And so, for you to even think that inadvertently a parent could have done something, not intentionally, but something that happened, which you as a little child would have been very badly damaged by, would not have had the emotional bandwidth to say, okay, they're doing this, they don't know, but I need to take care of myself. And you definitely didn't have anybody to talk to. I don't see where people who are today in their 40s and 50s could go to a school counselor or to anybody. And probably if they went to an elder aunt or a cousin, maybe that person normalized it and said, oh, they did it because they love you very much. And so the problem, Gurut, really is that even today it happens. A person will come and tell me, I shared this with my best friend, and she said, no, no, it's okay, you're so strong, you'll get over it. That's not what she needed to hear. She just needed to feel validated and say, oh, did that happen? That must have been hard for you. That's good enough. Most
Very
often we
true.
get into finding solutions, offering alternatives. ये क्यों नहीं कर लेते, वो क्यों नहीं कर लेते, ऐसा तो सबके साथ होता है, मेरे साथ इससे भी बुरा हुआ था,
We kind of get judgmental or comparative,
Yes,
but not, sometimes all that is required is a simple ear without, just listen rather than, try to, kind of, uh, discuss it and discuss it.
absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes people just want to be heard. They don't want solutions.
Because see, what also happens is most of the time when we talk about something, solutions do come back to yourself. At least that happens
Yes,
with me. Because when you're talking, you're also kind of somewhere in your mind analyzing that
absolutely.
go on. And then you're also kind of linking it up with other experiences that you've had, or you would have, heard from all around, and you've looked at other stories, other people's lives, and then,
Yes,
all of that does come through. That's very interesting.
absolutely. So, who were the role models you grew up with? Was it easy following? Trying to fill those shoes. Was it hard? Did you feel overwhelmed? You know, and therefore, how did you respond? Like, did you become a perfectionist? Did you beat yourself up? Are you still doing that to yourself? And where did that whole story begin? Maybe at the age of 3 or 4. And how we experience ourselves as a 3 or 4 year old is when something sad happens, or even we could be watching a movie, and something somebody says, a character says, will resonate with us, and bring out, and we tear up, and we know that something inside, it's touched a chord, we say, because we've had a very similar experience, which is as yet unprocessed, and it brings up the emotion.
So, in your workshop, when all of these emotions are being processed, most people will come away with a paradigm shift about your own beliefs about yourselves, as
Yes,
well as your own beliefs about how better could you deal with the situation. But when you go back to your environment, people in that environment are not used to the new you, you know.
yes, yes.
So, what happens during, would you fall back into your earlier patterns, or, because I'm sure there is going to be some amount of upheaval, would be a very strong word, but some amount of settling down or resetting parameters which would be required. So how do you kind of take care of that?
Absolutely, it's so important to talk about this, which is why what I tell everyone on the first day, that you guys are so courageous. You're coming and doing this. I think one of the oldest, the classic psychologists who said this was Scott Peck, who said getting into therapy is one of the most courageous, the bravest things a human being can do. and that is to bear their heart to another human being, right? And to trust them. So, yes, it takes a lot of courage because all the rough edges are going to come out, all the pain is going to come up. And when you go back in your environment, you're going to become a little, wary of seeing, which of my existing, the circumstances, the people around me, have I become a little, what is my relationship with that? For example, am I unable to say no to people? And now I want to assert myself a bit and I want to say no. So how do I do that? And how do I tread gently on other people's toes? So this journey is what it is to reparent yourself. So imagine there's a little child within you, and when we say inner child healing, it means whenever some trauma happened, there's a part of you that stopped growing at that age. Let's say 7 or 8. And now, in the 3 days of the workshop, you've gone, healed that 7-year-old part of you, and integrated them with the person that you are today, right? And you're fully aware, and therefore if a similar situation happens, you don't have to regress back to that 7-year-old to stage to respond to that situation. So therefore, since we're talking children, we're talking reparenting yourself, reparenting the child in you. For instance, you wake up one morning and you feel, oh God, I feel so lazy, I don't want to get out of bed, right? So many people go through that. They don't have to be in a difficult, traumatic, or toxic situation, but so many times. But then there's a little parent voice which will either say, come on now, you can do it, it's
Voice in
okay,
the head.
either that way, which I call the nurturing parent, or can be a critical parent, say, listen, get up now, or you're going to get it from somebody. You better get up now. There you go, being lazy again. That's a very critical voice. So, how to speak to your own inner child in a nurturing voice? Because we all do the self talk, right? Whole day long, it goes on, that voice saying, now you did this, okay, there you messed up. So, how do we reparent ourselves and take care of ourselves first? And then
Right.
re-engage with the outside world in a way that's not like as though now meet the new improved Meena, now she's not going to tolerate this, but that what, thanks but no thanks, I don't want to go out for dinner tonight. I think I'll order in, and I'll respect you for respecting my wishes.
Very beautiful. So, when you do the 3-day workshop, do you also do some follow-ups, follow-through,
Absolutely,
to
that's
handhold
so
through immediate
important. I
changes that come by with job?
Definitely, Guru. That is so important because, like, things are going to come up. You can't encompass a 40-year-old lifetime in 3 days. Sorry,
Right.
you know,
True.
or even 20 years or even 1 year in 3 days. So much happens, but you get a grip on certain basic things. You understand your tendencies. And let's not forget, conventional psychotherapy, psychology is all about patterns. This is how I am. This is how I am. But here's what I know now, that this is how I turned out the way I did. So I validate myself. I'm good the way I am. But you know what? This old stuff keeps coming up. So what do I do? The entire group, whoever's done my program up till today, either as a retreat, which we used to do before COVID, or online, or in the face to face format that we're doing now, a morning evening workshop, everybody has an opportunity to meet. I meet them every Tuesday for an hour, and it's like open to everybody. Some people are more enthusiastic. Of course, when they've just done the program, there's more enthusiasm. Sometimes it wanes. Sometimes a participant will come back just after, like they've had a difficult day or they're facing some challenge at work or at home, or anything, saying, today I just wanted to meet all of you and vent. I had a shitty day, or stuff like that. So here is a non-judgmental place. They all tell me, Meena, you've created this space for us. We can be ourselves. We don't feel judged. We can come, we can talk, we can say, I'm still having a problem with this. I think I could have spoken up for myself, but I didn't. And then I kind of lead that discussion. I let them share, they support each other. I also set certain topics for certain days. There are specific topics we talk about, like how to set boundaries, like how to take care of yourself, how to nurture yourself, and a whole variety. Actually, now everybody's talking about imposter syndrome. It's like the new word, right? Like people who are successful, who are functional, when they hit an emotional low, they feel like, am I an imposter? Am I this person, going to work in this Armani suit? And, all these people look up to me and like, I can be such a baby, when I remember something from my childhood. So, uh, so yeah, that was one of the topics we covered. We read self-help books, and then we have like a book club session and stuff like that. So it's
So there
interesting.
are follow-ups. There are enough
It's
follow.
like everybody stays connected.
Yeah,
It,
and not only connected to the initial group, but from what I hear is you also connect to a lot of other people from your previous groups that you would have done.
certainly. Recently, we had
So,
a guest who's an author. She's written a book on depression. She was a guest on our group. And so people did like a Q&A with her. And so I try and make it as lively, as current, as interesting. Because the topic is, how can I live a life that's more empowered, that's more adult, that's more authentic, where I can be true to myself, where
right.
I'm not faking it and trying to be something that I'm not.
Very nice, Meenaji, and sounds very, very interesting. So you do these workshops regularly online as well as offline? Even
That's right.
forward, are you continuing online workshops as well? Because it may not be possible for everyone to, kind of come and attend it in a form of a retreat, especially now that, we've discovered other ways of doing it.
Yes.
So,
Yes, the only difference being that my online workshop runs like, I ask for a 3 hour commitment every day, so that the roughly 21 hours of content that there is, with the sessions, the meditations, the writing, whatever, the entire technology of the workshop,
different exercises.
it gets covered. Yeah, the exercises, it gets covered over a period of a week. So 7 days, 3 hours every day.
Okay.
So that
Whereas
also is a
in a
commitment.
physical commitment is for 3 hour days because it's like you're there the whole day together.
Yes, yes.
Very nice. Very nice. It's very interesting to hear about this, Meenaji. Let's look forward to your next workshop coming up soon,
Okay.
and encourage our viewers to kind of connect with us to know more about this workshop. Best wishes. Thank you. Thank you, Meenaji. Thank you, viewers. Hope you enjoy.
Thank you.
I think it went off very well.